This is Cheryl with Sea Spirit Tarot, and the hardest thing for me is doing this face-to-face thing and have to actually look at myself. So I guess you gotta get dressed and show up. So I'm trying to maintain some of this so people know who I am. I like it with just my hands because I could be really ratty looking and still read the cards, but maybe that's not so respectful. So the goddess card I chose was Orion Rod. And years ago I read a book called The Silver Wheel. And she is also known as the Silver Wheel, the cycles and changes of time. A matriarchal Welsh triple goddess, both virgin and mother. Well, maybe she'll remember me to what I should be remembering, or should have been remembering. I don't know. I am a crone. Well, she's triple moon, so she's crone too, I guess. Anyway, she's the goddess. is overseeing my reading. My Sacred Geometry Arcturian card is transition. I am in a transition. I am grateful and thrilled to be in a transition. We all have a time to be, every minute of the day, we have a chance to be in a transition to grow more in spirit. And you grow more in spirit, the discs come with it, the abundance. So, with my Marseille deck today, my question is like, kind of, how am I doing? What's going on here? Or this could even be for the general universe, because is it today that Jupiter went into Capricorn with Pluto and Saturn? So anyway, here I got the Queen of Wands. She's magnetic. She's energetic. She gets things done. She is a creator. This is an aspect. I like these Marseille cards because for some reason they speak to me when there's an aspect of a personage there that I need to temper, incorporate, and use within my own, embody myself as part of my actions and beliefs. And I do need some of that refinement of the Queen. The other part of our question is judgment. Take off those clothes that we've been wearing. Take off who you've been. This is a new eon. It started in 2000. The age of Horus. We are ascending. We are growing. I'm way into this ascending thing. I am looking towards the future in the being in the now. So the being in the now is to rise up naked. And this is almost to me like rising up naked to put my body on this YouTube. Oh man, they're just harsh, these gods and goddesses, aren't they? Anyway, what did Blavatsky say? They're all the same gods and goddesses in different clothes. So you get variance, but you get a lot of the same message from many of them. So here I have judgment, rebirth with the Queen of Wands, forming a new, I don't want to say image, because I don't know about presenting an image, but this coming from deep inside of myself, the fire of the golden seed within me. Why am I doing this? Justice. I am such a believer in justice. There's nothing, you're not going to get to the top of the tree of life without the sword of truth. And this is making better decisions, but I just want to be part of the change that I wish to see. So living a life of integrity for me, holding that sword of truth and in balance. And we're all judgmental. We all fall into it. But being aware that when I fall into it and knowing that I could have a different reaction to it. So this is pretty exciting too, I think. Why am I doing that? I want to be part of the truth, sending out the truth. in the short-term goal of like where I'm at in just this modified spread, it's the Three of Wands. It's time for a new creation. This too is fire. A new creation coming from that golden spark seed within me, my path of what I am supposed to do. So if this is my small outcome here, the best expected small outcome, I feel good about that. Moving along on that. What I am bringing into this, what assets I have, what may need to be modified. I have the Nine of Swords. I'm going to call this dream work. You know, it's all a dream. It's all an illusion. Don't let your ego overrun your mind with an illusion. And it also shows me, I believe that the nines are of a higher exaltation than the tens, because the 10 is complete, so it's like the denouement or whatever they call it when you write a novel. But with the Nine of Swords, I have attained some control, because I can fall back over my mind running the outfit, and not always running it in such a bountiful, beautiful way. I mean, in another reading here, I got the Three of Cups, which is beautiful abundance. But this is a short-term goal. This one, I really like the substance of it. Of what I'm bringing in is the air energy of the swords, of the learning, of the realization in the mind and the ego. And what I could see is the probable outcome for this. In this deck, it's Jupiter. Jupiter is the Hierophant, which is an authority figure I often have issues with. But the outcome, maybe with the Nine of Swords, is to see this in a different way, a much less judgmental way than I have been looking at it, and know that with all the changes coming through the astrology right now, the music of the spheres, of the plasma geometric forces coming into us, that's all being rained on all of us, society's going to change, we're going to change. 5 is change. I made a video where I just told how much I couldn't stand this card, but when I look at it here in process today, it's okay. Jupiter's expansive. You know, Krishna gave Jupiter I don't want to call it the rights, but some of the privileges of maintaining our society. So that's an interesting way to look at going back to that too. And I'm part of society. I take part in all of this. So, Major Arcanas. The way I see my question, looking at my question, is the Queen of Swords. So I'm looking at these cards with this card. And there again is a queen that I need to have not her harsh attributes, but to bring in some of her softer attributes with less judgment. And I also got this card on another read, because I'm studying the Thoth and you know, reading about each one and studying. So that's kind of a double to me of the Queen of Swords. And I am the Queen of Swords, and I've been the bitter Queen of Swords. But there's some discretion that comes with the Queen of Swords, and action and where my mind goes in keeping the stability of my life going. The timing for this that I'm doing, what's going on in my life, changing my life, being reborn, is the Knight of Batons. So there again, I got the fire. I got 2 batons here of fire, And in truth, I don't know my major arcana so well in their elements. But the time is now. Keep moving forward with the idea, with that baton. Because within that baton is the teaching of what I need to realize. On the why that I'm doing this, why am I doing this? Justice, small victory, but the kind of the best possible outcome is the Chariot. Oh, and I wanted to go back on this Hierophant card, because the Hierophant not only rules and keeps the masses in order, but on an internal, it's also how we balance ourselves. The judgments are where our reason relates to our will versus running totally crazy on appetite. And I took, when I went to college, the first things I took was a whole year of comparative religions. And I really, the Vedic just fascinates me. So if I look at, now where was I going with that? Jupiter of expansion, I lost that train of thought. I'm going to have to come back to that. But it is changes in myself. Okay? I mean, the Chariot's changes in ourself, and that's what brought this up. But how we govern ourselves. And I know I was going with the Gita. The Gita is such a great book to read. I mean, you can almost just look at the illustrations and know where they came. It is just, it's almost like sometimes matte, which I've got those oracle cards coming, and I know they may be considered kind of light, but that sort of truth is so big to me that she took much almost from the Vedic. I mean, Krishna been around a long time. So the outcome, see, I got the Justice, I kind of got lost here. Best possible outcome is the Chariot. And here again, it's how we balance our will and reason. But it's a different kind of balance than the Hierophant. Or maybe the Hierophant is the beginning of us realizing that we have to balance ourselves in this society to become sovereign in our own body and move forward in a way of which we were intended, the contract that we made to come here, are working on the past karma of previous lives. And what could be the outcome, what could change, what could modify. I got the world. And even though these are fixed signs, and I'm mutable in one move, I'm working on my elements. I'm working on my goddess element. I don't know, would this be Sophia in this deck? I haven't even looked. There's no egg. But there is a circle. There's plenty of illustrations in here. So the outcome, I want the world that I want it now, is to continue working on myself in balance, and in balance of the 5 elements to get to where I want to go. So I often pull another card, of which I have not done in so very long. So I'm going to hold you here a moment, a few more minutes. I hope not a few more minutes. I almost forgot what I was that I had been doing as my daily spreads. I've been so involved and have become very much enlightened of myself in these video responses that I've been doing. We're gonna pull. I'm just going to pull one. Light transfusion, transmission. My mind, body, and awareness all being altered by a new light coming in. Transition. Transition. We're all in a transition. We are all growing and evolving. We are learning. I am meeting new people. I am having a new life. I am altering and rebirthing who I am. And I am so very grateful. I feel so very blessed. If you sat through this, thank you. I appreciate it. May the goddess bless you for the day and have a wonderful Monday.